Hey, federal employees, we got a big update. Yesterday, the president signed a new executive order. It won't affect most of you, but it will affect many of the people hired at your agency. He quietly unveiled Schedule G for federal employees. And last night, I reviewed the text, the commentary, and here's the legal fine print you need to know. So first, what exactly is Schedule G? Well, think of it as a brand new lane in the federal hiring highway. It's an accepted service category for non-career policymaking or policy advocating jobs. In plain English, political hires who come in specifically to drive the president's agenda and who can be hired or fired at will. According to the administration, they're not your classic Special C assistants, and they're definitely not protected competitive service career staff. They are by design short-term at will, and they're expected to leave when the president leaves. So why does the White House say we need it? Well, they say there was a gap in the system. We had Schedule C for policy roles with confidentiality aspects and a new policy/career category for career people in policy positions, but no slot for non-career policy advocates who aren't necessarily confidential aides. Schedule G allegedly fills that gap so agencies can turbocharge policy execution without wrestling with the usual civil service rules. So now why is everybody talking about this? Well, three big reasons. It's similar to the cousin of Schedule F. Remember 2020 when Schedule F threatened to convert tens of thousands of career employees to at-will workers? That turned into policy/career. But this is not about conversion. Schedule G will not strip rights from existing career staff, but it does expand the universe of political appointees going forward, and it could accelerate turnover, right? Because Schedule G employees serve strictly at the pleasure of the president. Agencies can replace them overnight, and they're expected to leave when the president leaves. That might sound efficient, but critics call it step one toward a modern spoils system where loyalty trumps expertise and where career voices risk being sidelined. There's no headcount gap yet. The order doesn't say how many Schedule G positions each agency gets. If an agency decides a swath of existing duties is policy advocating, it could balloon the politically appointed layer and push career staff further from key decisions. Legally, how strong is this order? Well, I think it's kind of strong. The president's relying on statutes which let him create exceptions for the competitive service for conditions of good administration, right? Courts usually give the White House wide berth here. Think of Schedules A, B, C, for instance. The power isn't unlimited, though. If agencies start relabeling routine expert roles as policy advocating just to dodge merit system rules, then I would expect some lawsuits claiming the executive order is being applied alter vires or beyond statutory authority or in an arbitrary or capricious manner under the Administrative Procedures Act. So what about due process rights? Well, Schedule G hires will have virtually no Merit Systems Protection Board appeal for removals, no guarantee notice period. That's permissible because they're political appointees. You don't gain a constitutional property interest in a job that's expected to be temporary. But if an agency tries to reclassify one of you as a career employee into Schedule G, that would be a flashing red light. It would trigger serious due process claims and likely I could see a court injunction, for instance. So how could this affect rank and file feds? Well, more political bosses. You might suddenly report to a Schedule G supervisor who has marching orders to move faster or weed out resistance, and they know they're done when the president leaves. Possible reorgs or RIFs, right? Agencies could be downsizing career positions right now, then create fresh Schedule G billets to do similar work, prompting union or individual challenges for the MSPB. There could be a shift in workplace culture. Career employees pride themselves on neutral expertise. A surge of at-will policy enforcers can chill open debate and make whistleblowing riskier in practice, even if protections remain strong on paper. Unions in Congress are already mobilizing. AFGE and NTEU are drafting statements. Hill allies are talking about riders to try to bar funding for Schedule G implementation. But again, that's probably unlikely given the makeup of Congress. Remember, an executive order can be undone by the next president or limited by a single line in an appropriations bill. So what should you do right now? I would stay informed, watch for OPM guidance in the Federal Registers, definitions, position, classification criteria, and any public comment window. Your position, should not actively be converted into Schedule G. So if that happens, let us know. Otherwise, generally, make sure to stay informed of your rights. We're doing a lot of stuff here on social media this year I'm really proud of. If you want to make sure not to miss anything, get on our free newsletter at fedlegalhelp.com/newsletter. And if you're a nerd who wants to discuss this even more, get access to our weekly online sessions, plus a bunch of other resources as part of our membership. That's $19 a month with a 3 free-day trial. For those who kind of want the extra, you can go to fedlegalhelp.com/join. Otherwise, hope you found this helpful. Thank you, everybody, and have a great day.